Thank you. Well, it's going to be hard to follow all those great presentations. Let's have a big hand for everybody who presented tonight. The good thing about going last is you guys have had the most bar time, but the bad thing is that so have I. So we'll try to get through it. All right, go ahead, Nick. All right, we are handcrafting a world-class vodka right here in Michigan. Now let me repeat that. We're not importing it. We're not rebottling it. This is 100% Michigan from grain to glass. Now, how do we do this? The first thing that we do is we're actually one of the first few distilleries in the world to use a multi-grain recipe. We use Michigan-grown barley, red Michigan wheat, and corn. The next thing that we do is we use old world distillation techniques. In this world where everything is manufactured, I call it the Walmartization of manufacturing. It's nice to just get back to the way that things were supposed to be made, even though it's not as efficient and not as cost effective. Now, the entire process of making this vodka is completely hand done. And this isn't just a marketing moniker for us, it's actually a philosophy. From the distillation to actually even the bottling, it's all done by hand. Now, most vodkas are made with one substrate. Usually it's potato or wheat. And whatever you start with, it always has good characteristics, but it also has bad characteristics as well. What we do a blend, we try to maximize the best character of each of the grains and minimize the negative aspects of each of the grains. Have a martini while we're waiting. All right, the process of making vodka basically boils down to 4 steps: the mashing, the fermentation, the distillation, and then the filtration. Mashing, if anyone is familiar with the way beer is made, it's almost exactly identical. What we're trying to do is convert all the starches in the grains to sugars, which will later be converted into alcohols. We use 3 different grains, so we run a temperature progression through the mash in order to convert all of the starches to sugars. We transfer it then to fermentation tanks, add yeast. The yeast does its job converting the sugars into carbon dioxide and then alcohol. After about 3 to 5 days, we have about a 9 to 10% alcohol mixture, which moves us on to the distillation. Distillation, very simply, is taking advantage of the fact that different compounds have different boiling points. It's a very simple process on the outset, but this is where the real art comes into it, which we do is pot distillation, and that means we do 1 batch at a time. The distillate that is coming out of the still, we really need to break that into 3 different grades, which are the heads, the hearts, and the tails. And the distillation run that's coming out, the heads come out first. You don't want the heads or the tails in your vodka. The best vodka is in the heart run. And the way we do that is completely with our sense of taste and smell. We feel that a computer can't tell you what tastes good. So this is all done by our senses, our human senses, which is, you know, we think that makes a better product. Have another martini while we wait. The last step in the process is filtration. Most vodkas, all vodkas actually, are filtered through activated carbon. Most vodka company production vodkas use carbon that is made from coal. We thought it was better to use renewable carbon that is made from coconut husks and wood. Now, this whole process is in contrast to the way most production vodkas that you'll find on the shelf are made, which is continuous distillation. It's almost exactly like an ethanol plant that you'll burn the fuel in your car. This is an example of one right here. The mash is continuously pumped in, and the ethanol is spouted out the other side. It's all run by computers. There's absolutely no human interaction at all. And this brings us to why the major vodkas have to use additives to make the ethanol drinkable. And it's a dirty little secret. Nobody knows about it because the federal government doesn't make you put that on your regulations. But everyone usually adds sugar and glycerol to make it taste better. So the reason we go through this long process to make our drinks is because if only 1 out of 10 drinks that you ordered in Michigan were made in Michigan, nearly $100 million would stay in this state. So think about that the next time you're ordering a drink. So our whole philosophy is that we don't want you to drink Michigan-made spirits, whether it's Valentine or someone else's, because it's made in Michigan. We want you to drink it because it's better, and it's a bonus that it's made in Michigan. So, thank you.